That's a decadent holige. The Bele, the dates, the Badam, the jackfruit, the coconut, the Gulkand, the pineapple, and also that 50-50, which is a mix of the khoa and the carrot. You place this holige in the mouth and it's a pungent, sweet character of that ripe jackfruit that greets you on the palate right away. I think I can almost see the camera through this holige. It's as translucent as that. And of course, dripping some tuppa. I think this is the sort of holige that you can roll into a delicious bite. Hi folks, this is Kripalamana Gourmet on the road and you're watching Food Lovers TV. I hope you're doing well. So tomorrow is Ugadi here in Karnataka, a festive occasion symbolizing the new year as per the Hindu calendar, and this is also celebrated in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So one of the customs around Ugadi is the partaking of the Bevu Bella. Bevu means bitter, Bella is of course jaggery, which is sweet. So the Bevu Bella comprises of some neem, which stands for bitterness, there's some salt, there's some Bella, of course the jaggery, which stands for sweet. There's also some raw mango and a few other things. The Bevu Bella goes to signify that life is a combination of various things. You have challenges, you have hurdles, you have some sadness, but you also have happiness, you have sweetness as well in life, and that we must learn to embrace it all. And I think that message of that Bevu Bella is so apt for the times that we live in currently. So in this episode, we're not going to taste the Bevu Bella, but we're going to taste another dish that people partake of with great enthusiasm during Ugadi. And that is the holige, also known as the obbattu or the puran poli in parts of Maharashtra. And we are going to go to this establishment that specializes in the holige, and this place is called Mane Holige, which means the holige that's prepared like at home. And I'm told they have an amazing array of holige varieties, and that's where we've set out this afternoon to taste some holige on the day before Ugadi. Of course, by the time we air this episode, Ugadi will be long gone, but I hope we can still celebrate the spirit of newness and the fact that we should embrace life in all its aspects that this auspicious festival celebrates. Well, it certainly seems like a popular place. It's a tiny, almost a hole in the wall, but going by the number of people that are thronging it, I'm sure we're in to taste some deliciousness. Namaskara. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು? Lakshman. So ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಳಿಗೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಹೋಳಿಗೆ.
I can see a coconut holige, dal holige with chili.
Yeah, with hasiಮೆಣಸಿನಕಾಯಿ.
Green chilies. अच्छा ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಹಾಂ.
There's a dates holige, ಕೊಬ್ಬರಿ sugar holige, khoa holige, carrot, shenga. My God, that list goes on and on. ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೋಳಿಗೆ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ?
Sir, nearly 23 varieties ಇದೆ.
23 varieties. And holige is prepared live there?
Yeah, we are preparing live.
So Lakshman, ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿದು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್. ಓನರ್ ಬಂದು ಭಾಸ್ಕರ್ ಅಂದೆ.
ಓನರ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಭಾಸ್ಕರ್.
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಭಾಸ್ಕರ್ ಸರ್.
ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಹಿಂದೆ?
ಸೊ ಇದು ಜಸ್ಟ್ 2014 ನಾವು ಡಿವಿಜನ್ 7 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
7 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್.
ನಮ್ಮದು 8 shops ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ.
8 shops ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ.
ಹಾಂ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು DVG ರೋಡಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜಯನಗರ, ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕತ್ರಗುಪ್ಪೆ, RR ನಗರ, ಮಲ್ಲೇಶ್ವರಂ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಬಸವೇಶ್ವರ ನಗರ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, RPC ಲೇಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಬನ್ಸಕ್ರಿ ಬಿ ಡಿ ಎ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಒಂದು ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಮಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಹುಬ್ಳಿನಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಬ್ರಾಂಚಸ್ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ಮದು. ಸೊ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಾಂಬೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಿದೆ ಸ್ವಂತ.
ಸೊ ವೆರೆವರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು,
ಹಾಂ,
ಮನೆ ಹೋಳಿಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಸೌತ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು.
And of course there's a bunch of things here. ಇದೇನು coconut ಬರ್ಫಿ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಇದು ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಮಿಠಾಯಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೆಲ್ಲದ ಮಿಠಾಯಿ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು.
There's also some Andhra special, the putre kulu that I see here.
No, putre kulu.
The East Godavari special. And of course a lot of kara.
Yes sir, tomato murku, churmuri.
If you also want some sandige, you can find some sandige here too. Oh, I love this place already. I can see some tokku here.
Yeah.
I can see
We have
some
different,
spiced nuts.
spiced
Oh, I don't
goda
remember the last time I saw this mithai. This is the peppermints, the traditional
our
classic peppermints.
childhood
Correct.
dish.
I remember in school we used to eat this.
Yes. Yeah.
ಅಂಗಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಒಂದು 20 ಪೈಸೆಗೆ ಒಂದು
20 ಪೈಸೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆ ಥರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು.
So I think this is a place where you will not only come and relish the holige but also relish some childhood memories. ನಿಪ್ಪಟ್ಟು.
ನಿಪ್ಪಟ್ಟು ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಮಸಾಲಾ ಎಲ್ಲ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ಇದೆ.
ಶೇಂಗಾ ಇದೆ,
ಶೇಂಗಾ ಇದೆ,
ಎಳ್ಳುಂಡೆ ಇದೆ,
ಎಳ್ಳುಂಡೆ, ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾ.
Oh my goodness. So I think when you come here for the holige, you should also take a look at what's in the store.
ಸೊ ಹೋಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಖಾರ ಇರಲಿ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದನ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು.
When you eat something sweet, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಖಾರ ಸಹ ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. So that's why they have all these savouries to savor.
ಮನೆ ಹೋಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಕುರುಕ್ ತಿಂಡಿ.
ಮನೆ ಹೋಳಿಗೆ and ಕುರುಕು ತಿಂಡಿ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ?
ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಮ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಸರ್.
So some of the items are produced in their facility and some of the items are produced by people known to them in homes. So this is almost like a cottage enterprise of sorts.
ಸೊ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೆಲವರು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್
entrepreneurs
ಆಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಸೊ ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಏನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು? ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ಸೊ ಅದು ಕೋರ್ ನಾವು ಯಾವ್ದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಆ ಕೋರಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು ತರೋದು. ಸೊ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ನಾಮಕಲ್ಲಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ಬೈ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಚಕ್ಲಿ ಫೇಮಸ್ ನಾಮಕಲ್ ಆ ಥರ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ನಾಮಕಲ್ಲಲ್ಲೇ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಿಕಲ್ಸ್, ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋ, ರೆಡ್ ಚಿಲ್ಲಿ, ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ರಂಜಕ, ಇದು ಲೆಮನ್ ಚಿಲ್ಲಿ, ಗೋಂಗೂರ ತೊಕ್ಕು, ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ನೆಲ್ಲಿಕಾಯಿ.
That is basically the gooseberry that grows in the wild.
ಸೊ ಇದು ಏಲೆಕಾಯಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇದು BP ಶುಗರ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು.
I think so that is citrus fruit. ದೊಡ್ಡ ಲೆಮನ್ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಇದು ಸಿಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ.
ಹೇರಳೆಕಾಯಿ.
Bitter gourd chips.
There's some bitter gourd chips here as well. So if you have diabetes or something like that, you can eat the bitter gourd chips, the hagelkai chips. I also see some bakarwadi here. Of course, the bakarwadi originally comes from Maharashtra, but I'm sure there's some homemakers who make this. Avre bele mixture.
That's all Chintamani.
So Chintamani is a place in Doddaballapur district. That is famous for some of these savouries. They also procure it from there. ಹೋಳಿಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದಾ?
ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್.
I think we've seen all the kuruku thindi that we can see, but we are here to taste the holige.
Is it kanika?
Kanika, which is the dough, is basically 80% of rava, semolina, and 20% of maida. And then they make a dough with the water. They keep it aside for some time, for about 30 minutes or so, and then they add as much oil as they need.
ಕನಿಕಾ ಇದು ಹೂರ್ಣ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೇನು ಫಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ? ಬಾದಾಮ್.
ಬಾದಾಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗೋಡಂಬಿ
ಫುಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಶುಗರ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಫುಲ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಇದೇನು? ಖರ್ಜೂರ. ಕ್ಯಾರೆಟ್ ಹಲ್ವಾ ಟೈಪ್.
It is khoa.
Okay, that's a reduced milk solid.
ಇದು pineapple.
ಇದು ಏನು?
Coconut
ಕಾಯಿ.
Dal.
ಬೇಳೆದು. The tur dal that goes into it. So there's a kanika here. In that kanika they stuff it with a urna, which is also known as the purna in Marathi, and then it is dropped in oil here. He then rolls it out. And then it's placed on that tawa. ಇದು ಏನು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಐನ್ ತವಾ? ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ತವಾ. ಘೀ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ?
ಘೀ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆಯಿಲ್.
ಏನು ಆಯಿಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ರಿಫೈನ್ಡ್, ಸನ್ಪ್ಯೂರ್.
ರಿಫೈನ್ಡ್ ಆಯಿಲ್. So then he places it on the tawa there, and then it's ready. I like the way he's skillfully putting the urna in the kanika, and I like the way he's rolling it out here. It's rolling out to a perfect brown, and then of course it's dropped in the oil. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 25 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತು.
25 ವರ್ಷ. So once the holige is prepared, it's then cooled under the fan on this table here and then packed.
ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ ಬಿಸಿನೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಫುಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಮೆಲ್ ಬರ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ನೀರು ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ.
ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಹೋಳಿಗೆ?
ಸೊ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು 7 days-ವರೆಗೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
7 days ವರೆಗೆ.
ಓನ್ಲಿ ದಾಲ್ 2 days.
2 days. So if you do the Bele holige, it's 2 days.
Yeah.
And the coconut holige, the dry coconut holige, it is 1 week.
1 week.
Sugar free, 1 day.
ಅದೇನು
ಹೌದು, ಶುಗರ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಸಹ ಇದೆ. ಶುಗರ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಬೇಳೆ.
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಬೆಲೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ.
So if you want some sugar free holige, they have some sugar free as well in the Bele, in the ತೊಗರಿ ಬೇಳೆ. ಸೊ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬೇಳೆ ಹೋಳಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಖರ್ಜೂರದ ಹೋಳಿಗೆ, ಒಂದು ಬಾದಾಮ್ ಹೋಳಿಗೆ, ಜಾಕ್ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಹೋಳಿಗೆ, ಕೋಕೋನಟ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಒಂದು, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಒನ್ ಗುಲ್ಕಂಡ್ ಹೋಳಿಗೆ ಆಲ್ಸೋ.
50-50.
ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೂ ದ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಟ್ ಗೋವಾ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ 50-50. ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್, ಒಂದು ಅದು ಕೊಡಿ. So are you a regular here?
We are very much regular.
I think most people who come here are regulars. I think they all know what they want.
Yes. They don't look at the board, they just go and order.
Ah, that's right. So when you come here, it's a 30-minute wait.
During festival, yes. Normally, no, not this crowd.
Not this crowded.
They just come and pick it up and they go.
Okay.
During the festive season, yes. This is.
Well, I'm waiting for my holiges to be ready. But this seems to be certainly the sort of place where you come and pick your orders in bulk, and I think that's what's happening with most people. So even as I wait for these 8 holiges to come out of the kitchen here, I'm trying to figure out where do I taste it. Because they're pretty much on the footpath, and that's a crowded footpath at that. So probably we'll have to find a corner somewhere where I can stand and taste these holiges in peace. Well, I have some of the holige here. It's a bit of a jumble, and I think I'll have to discover the urna, or what's in it, as I bite on it. What I've done is I've asked for each of these holiges to be quartered, just so that I'm not wasting and I'm tasting a quarter of each holige. So let's begin, I think, with what looks like the Bele holige. I think that's what this is. So when you taste the holige here, they smear some ghee on it. If you're packing it home, I don't think there's any tuppa that goes on it, because otherwise the holige will get drenched, get soggy with all that tuppa. So that's the advantage if you are tasting the holige here. But I must warn you, the place does get crowded. So I think if you want to savor this holige in peace, pack some, savor it in the cozy comfort of home. Since I'm tasting 7 or 8 holiges, I've found myself a little corner of sort in this kuruk thindi section, or the savory section of Mane Holige. That for sure is a Bele holige. There's a certain strength in the dough, and that's what you're tugging at. And once you tug at that and place it on your tongue, you have the sweetness of the Bele that envelopes your palate. What's interesting here is that you're tasting no nutmeg, you're tasting no cardamom. So I think everybody has their own recipe to making a holige. And out here it's the jaggery and the lentils that go in to make that urna, or that filling. I quite like this holige. This is a comforting holige, the sort that you should ideally savor solpa bisi, slightly hot, smeared with some ghee. I also like the toasty flavor of the bread. Time now to take a look at what else is in our tray here. This, I think, is a pineapple holige. I'm not sure, but I can see some fibrous bits in there, and I think that's the pineapple. I was hoping to smell the pineapple, but what I am smelling is the aroma of the tuppa, or the ghee. That certainly is a pineapple. So there's a sweetness of the pineapple. I'm sure there's some jaggery that goes into it, but you're also tasting the acidity of the fruit. So it's an interesting, sweet and tangy sort of a bite. You can see the fibrous bits of the pineapple. So it's that and the tangy sweetness of the fruit on your palate as you taste this holige, that conveys to you that this is a pineapple holige. You'll see plenty of people around because I think everybody is shopping for their kuruk thindi. What do you get? The kodubale. This is a mini kodubale. So the second holige done. I think let's now taste the carrot and khoa holige. I think I'm going to taste the khoa first with some tuppa. That's a decadent holige. You can taste the cloying creaminess of that milk as it's boiled over a period of time and reduced to that sweetened milk solid. And that's exactly what you're tasting. You're tasting the lush decadence of the khoa in this holige. When it came to the Bele holige, along with the urna, you also tasted the flavor of the kanika or the dough. But in this khoa holige, what you're really tasting is that lush decadent hit of the khoa, of the reduced milk solid. It's almost like tasting a rich milk peda that's been flattened into this holige. That's the sort of flavor that you're tasting. If you like your decadent milky sweets, that's a holige that you will enjoy. I think out here the service is more tuned to you coming here, ordering your holiges and taking it away in a parcel. Eating in is certainly not part of the ritual here, especially in this store, because this, I'm told, is the tiniest Mane Holige store that exists. Let's go over that carrot now. I'm tasting more the flavor, the sugary flavor of the carrot. I was expecting to taste a bit of a gajar halwa in this, but that isn't happening. You're tasting sweet and in the comforting knowledge that there's carrots in it which are nutritionally good for you. So out of the 4 holiges that I've tasted, my vote certainly goes to the classic holige, that is the Togri Bele holige. The pineapple is interesting for the tangy sweetness that it conveys within the folds of that holige. The khoa, great if you like that decadent milky richness. The carrot, well, it conveys more of the sweetness of the sugar than the flavor that I was expecting, similar to that of a gajar halwa. Let's go for that Badam holige. I love the stickiness of the filling in this holige, and I love the crunch of that holige. So that holige is roasted to that perfect crisp. So you've got this crispy edges, and inside that stuffing of the badam, and I'm told there's also some godambi or some cashew paste that goes in, perhaps some sugar or jaggery that makes it sticky. So you've got the crunch of the holige, and you've got that sticky sweetness of that filling, of that badam and godambi. I love the delicate crunch of that holige. This one certainly aces it for me. Out of the 5 holiges that I've tasted, this one certainly is my top pick, that Badam holige. So much so that I'm going to go for another quarter of that holige. What I also like about this holige is that the stuffing has enough strength to match that of the kanika, of the dough. So you're appreciating the qualities, the toasty qualities of the dough, and also that sticky jamminess of that badam and godambi filling. If you want to order one holige from here, that badam holige will certainly be it. Along with that Togri Bele holige, if you like your holige done the classic way. The texture of this holige is quite similar to that of a chewy candy. I think this is a jackfruit holige. You place this holige in the mouth and it's a pungent, sweet character of that ripe jackfruit that greets you on the palate right away. You can taste this holige blind and you know it's jackfruit. And of course the jackfruit holige is dripping some tuppa. I think there's also some filler that goes in along with the jackfruit. Perhaps some lentils, I'm not sure. Because you're tasting that sweetness, but there's also some graininess to that urna, to that mixture inside. Either way, that jackfruit certainly makes for an interesting stuffing. So what I've learned is there's the sweetness of the sugar that's infused with the ripe flavors of that jackfruit. And that's what makes this jackfruit holige special. I think next, let's go for some of that Kharjura holige or the date holige. I like the translucent nature of that holige. I think I can almost see the camera through this holige. It's as translucent as that. And of course, dripping some tuppa. I think this is a sort of holige that you can roll into a delicious bite. What I like when it comes to the fillings, you're basically tasting only the flavor of the filling. There is no nutmeg, there's no cardamom, anything else to distract your attention from the flavor of the principal ingredient. And out here the dates are basically also the sweetener that goes into the holige. I'm told there's a touch of jaggery that goes in just to elevate its sweetness, but otherwise it's pretty much the sweetness of the dates. This isn't a place where you should come and attempt to eat unless you're eating outside. Maybe a holige at a time. Definitely not a place where you should come and taste 8 holiges sitting in here. I think I'm done with the date. I've got 2 holiges pending. So one is the Gulkand made of sweetened rose petals and the other is the kai. I think we need to bite into it to figure out which one is which. There's no mistaking that this certainly is a Gulkand. When it comes to Gulkand, the sweetness of the rose, I think there's also an earthy tone in that sweetness, and that's what you're tasting in that Gulkand holige here. The Gulkand also has a certain depth of flavor, and that's really what you're tasting. So out here you're not tasting any of that rava, maida, kanika. What you're tasting is a down and out flavor of that Gulkand enriched with some of that tuppa. Which is why, if you don't have much of a sweet tooth, it can get a tad cloying on the palate with all that sweetness, with all that dense sweetness of the Gulkand, of the sweetened rose petals. I think let's taste that kai holige next. This is the dry coconut. The dry coconut and some jaggery. The dry coconut is quite delicate in its flavor compared to that Gulkand that I just tasted. So it's having a tough time registering its flavors on the palate, but certainly makes for an interesting holige. Well, that was an indulgent tasting of some 8 holiges. The Bele, the dates, the Badam, the jackfruit, the coconut, the Gulkand, the pineapple, and also that 50-50, which is a mix of the khoa and the carrot. My top picks were definitely the Badam and the traditional, the classic Togri Bele holige. I think the interesting thing about Mane Holige is that they've taken a very traditional dish, the holige or the obbattu in this case, and packaged it in myriad flavors. I've tasted 8, but I'm told that they serve 22 or 23 on any given day. So no matter what your preference, no matter what you enjoy, you will always find something to your liking here at Mane Holige. On that note, I hope you've enjoyed this short and sweet episode of Gourmet on the Road. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and happy eating.
If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As, and a lot more. You could support us on a Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment below. Happy eating!